Believe it or not, there was a time when hula hoops were legally banned in Türkiye. And did you know that snowballs were also deemed illegal in the streets of Istanbul back in 1935? Although those weird laws no longer exist, Turkey still has some unique laws in place. And this is the video that will save you from going behind bars. Because I will tell you about 6 things that are forbidden in our beautiful country. Jokes aside, let's get to it, shall we? You have all seen it. It's cylindrical, it's red, it has black tassel attached to its flat top, and it's essential to any stereotypical depiction of a Turkish man, closely followed by us riding camels. That headgear is called fez, and wearing it has been against the law in Türkiye for nearly a century now. So why would wearing a funny-looking hat be against the law? I mean, I know it's not the most stylish equipment, but it shouldn't be a crime, should it? Well, the story is a bit long, and it's tightly related to the early days of the Turkish Republic. Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, who is the founder of Turkish Republic, had a very clear vision regarding the new country he built from the ruins of an old empire. The Türkiye he created had to be a modern country, and that vision introduced many changes to Turkish society. The choice of a representative democracy and a republic instead of any other form of government was one of them. Just like the abolition of caliphate was, or the switch to the Latin alphabet from the Arabic alphabet, or giving women the right to vote. You see where I'm getting at, don't you? The law number 671 on hats, adopted by Turkish parliament in 1925, was also the result of the newly found Türkiye changing its perspective to a more modern, Western way. As of today, it's among the revolutionary laws that cannot be revoked even if they are found to be unconstitutional. We are staying with the founding father of Türkiye for the second law on our list. And this one is still very much prevalent compared to the first. You may not know this, but trash-mouthing Atatürk can get you in serious trouble. Back in the 50s, more than a decade after Atatürk's death, the executives of the leading party had enough of the attacks on Atatürk's statues and busts. So, they introduced a new law. The law on crimes committed against Atatürk. As of today, anyone who publicly insults the memory of Atatürk and damages or spoils his busts or monuments can face up to 5 years of imprisonment. I mean, why would you ever want to do that in the first place? Anyway, it may be hard to believe, but the same law was the reason why YouTube was banned in Türkiye between 2007 and 2010. Because a single piece of content found on the site was violating the law on crimes committed against Atatürk. I bet you didn't know that, did you? Let's have a döner. But before we do that, let's make sure that we either drink non-alcoholic drinks with döner or buy all the alcoholic drinks we would need before 10 p.m. because it's illegal for markets to sell alcohol after 10 p.m. in Türkiye. I can say that this law is supported by the half of the country and hated by the other half. The regulations around alcohol always cause some kind of conflict among the population in Türkiye. Take taxing, for example. Many think that alcoholic drinks are taxed disproportionately, while others believe that it's just a measure to protect people from alcoholism. Until recently, promoting alcoholic beverages and brands was not limited by the law in Türkiye. But that changed back in 2013 when advertising for alcohol was prohibited. The government also suggested a restriction to increase the age limit to consume alcohol to 24 from 18 legally, but it was later overturned by the courts. I guess your takeaway from this little section should be this. If you are a booze guy or a girl, you would be better off sticking to bars and restaurants instead of markets. Then again, there are some times when you cannot buy, sell or drink alcohol even in those places, but that's only restricted to election days. Anyway, let's continue with the next one. This is a law about photography. Now, if you have been anywhere in Türkiye, you know that it's a beautiful place. And naturally, you would want to take hundreds of photos just to capture the beauty. While there's nothing wrong with this, you have to be careful about what you're capturing with your prized cameras or smartphones. Because there are places scattered all around the country where taking photos is the biggest mistake. And those places are military zones. Since 2008, not only taking photos or videos, but creating maps, drawing pictures, and sketches of these places have been illegal too. You can't even take notes about what you have seen. I mean, when you think about it, if you're not a spy or some sort, why would you even think about doing that? Alright, number 5 on our list is a 2-for-1. Just like the law protecting Atatürk's memory, there are 2 separate laws in place that protect the Turkish flag and the lira, the official currency of Türkiye. The Turkish flag's colors, shapes and sizes of all its elements are set in stone, and these must be respected, which is quite understandable. But the law protecting the Turkish flag goes a little bit further. Although you have probably seen people wearing the red and white flag on national holidays a million times, this has been forbidden by law since May 1936. The Turkish flag cannot be worn as a dress or uniform. It also cannot be used on desks and podiums as a cover for any purpose. Not to mention that any situation that would bruise its spiritual value is forbidden by the law too. Putting the Turkish flag gently aside, the Turkish currency, lira, is also protected by the law. Now, there is actually a law in place that is about protecting the value of the lira, mainly against the foreign currencies. Regardless of its value, you should never disrespect the lira, because guess what? Both Atatürk's portrait and the Turkish flag are on the lira, and any offense against the currency would also mean an offense against Atatürk and the Turkish flag. Who you are matters in Türkiye, but what matters more is that you can prove it. I think this one is common in most countries. Obviously, for a foreigner who is roaming in another country, it's best to keep one's passport with him or her. But in Türkiye, even if you are Turkish, you have your ID with you all the times. Obviously, for a foreigner who's roaming in another country, it's best to keep one's passport with him or her. But in Türkiye, even if you are Turkish, you have to have your ID with you at all times. You have to be identifiable by the authorities outside on the street, because random ID checks are still common practice in Türkiye, especially in crowded and touristic areas. Just to be clear, it's not outright illegal to not have your ID with you, but it's considered a minor offense, and if you can't provide a valid ID, you can be fined around $20. That being said, every Turkish citizen possesses a unique identification number, which is also found on one's ID card. And providing this magical 11-digit number can sometimes get you out of trouble. So, almost everyone knows their unique number by heart. Alright, with that out of the way, we are going to wrap up this episode. What was, in your opinion, the weirdest law featured in this list? Was there a particular law resonated with you because you have a similar one in your country? Be sure to let us know in the comments. Until next time, stay out of trouble. Just kidding. Hoşça kalın.